Well, hello everyone and welcome to yet another Discussions with Dolf. And yes, yet again I'm in a new location. Today I am in Helsinki, Finland. And it is a far cry from where I was with my last video. With my last video, you may recall I was down in Malta, and even though it's now early April, it should be springtime, it was nice and warm there, probably around 20 degrees by the time temperatures warmed up. And here, believe it or not, it's -3 degrees. It is literally below freezing. I understand that normally it's very windy here, and with the wind chill factor, my lips would get frozen before this video ended. But fortunately, there's not much wind right now, although I can feel the heat being sucked out of my fingers as I stand here because I made the mistake of taking my gloves off. And yesterday, I sent a photo to my daughter, and she said, "Dad, I don't think I've ever seen you wearing a scarf before." Well, she's 18 now, so that means I haven't often been in climates cold enough to justify a scarf. And relevant to what we were saying last week about buying a piece of real estate by a body of water, oh my gosh, Finland is the ultimate place to have a piece of real estate by a body of water. Because when you talk about the number of islands here, there are over 179,000 islands in this country. And there are even more lakes. The number is over 187,000. In fact, if you want me to be particular, it's 187,886 lakes. That is a lot of lakes. And on that note, perhaps there are so many that having a piece of real estate by or near a body of water doesn't have the same cachet as it does if you are in a country where there is hardly nearly as much water as there is here in Finland, by which I mean having something by a body of water isn't anything special here. It might be difficult to find a piece of real estate that is not by a body of water. So in that sense, you've always got to look for something different, some advantage. I understand a lot of people like to come here to Helsinki. It's the capital, of course. It's sort of at the southern end of the country because you can go way up north, 800 kilometers north, where it's even colder in winter and probably not as warm in summer. And the thing is to always look for something unique and to remember one of my catchphrases is that the deal of the decade comes along about once a week. And it doesn't just concern deals on real estate. And to illustrate that, the first time I came here to Helsinki, I was with my daughter, who was a lot younger then. I would hazard a guess that she had just become a teenager. And we were walking around the downtown area. It wasn't cold like this, it was the summertime. And there were a whole bunch of people standing outside a boutique hotel. And there was this murmur of what's going on, and everyone was talking. I said, "Who are you waiting on?" Well, the person we asked was as ignorant as we were. They didn't know, but everyone just stood there. And then before long, this woman came out with an entourage of bodyguards and minders, and it was Rihanna. And I said, "What's Rihanna doing here?" And they said, "Well, she's on her way to a concert right now." So I turned to my daughter and I said, "Would you like to go to the concert?" And she said, "Well, yes." I mean, in those days, I shouldn't state whether that's still the case because I might get an angry call from her, but in those days, she really loved Rihanna's music. So she said, "Well, yes, of course I would, but Dad, she's going to the concert. We probably can't get tickets." And I said, "You may be right, but you never know, so let's go." So as Rihanna got into this beautiful black Mercedes limousine to go to the concert, we hailed a cab and off we went. Now this is a massive arena here, right next to where there was the Olympics in Helsinki. And this arena could hold 12,000 people. And it was a full house. So we went there and we rushed to the ticketing office. And there was no one inside because they weren't really selling any tickets. And I walked in there full of optimism as usual. And I said, "Is it possible to get 2 tickets?" And she said, "Sir, it's been sold out for months. People are coming from all over the world." And I said, "Well, you may have had a cancellation. Could you check, please?" And so she did, and she checked, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. There are 2 tickets available." And I remember the price. They were 79 euros each, which in the scheme of things I thought wasn't too bad. It didn't seem as though I was paying a penalty for being so late. So I said, "We'll buy them." We paid our money. We went into the arena, and the usher took us to our seat, and we went up 5 flights of stairs. We were in what in English is called the gods. We were so far back, you needed binoculars to see. Well, fortunately, I had a pair of tiny but very good lights binoculars with me. But we were sitting there minding our own business when this couple came up to us and said, "Excuse me, we think you're in our seats." And I said, "I don't think so," because the usher showed us these seats. but let's call the usher over and check. We'll sort it out either way. So they called the usher over, and the usher said to my daughter and I, "Oh, I'm so sorry, a mistake's been made. You are in the wrong seat. Could you please come with me?" So we said, okay. And then she looked at our tickets and she said, "Oh my God, I can't believe your seats." So we went down 5 flights of stairs. We went all the way, not to the front row, we were in the second row. And it's just the luck of the draw. It'll probably never happen again in 3 lifetimes, but it does make the point. The deal of the decade does come along. If I'd said to my daughter, "Do you want to go to the show tonight?" And she said, "Well, we probably won't get tickets." And I could have rationalized and said, "Yeah, it's been full for months, 12,000 people, full house. We haven't got a show. Let's go back to the hotel room and watch TV." No, you've got to take a chance. You've got to pursue every opportunity. And even if 19 times out of 20 the property you're pursuing or the concert you're pursuing truly is full, it doesn't matter, because that one time in 20 or one time in 30 or one time 100 that you get it, it is worth the effort. I've looked at so many properties where they've laughed at me for thinking it was still available or I could get it at the price that I thought I could get it at. But you know, once a year or every 2 years or every 6 months when I do score a great deal, I still own them. And you can reap the benefit of those going forward decades. So never give up. Always be optimistic. And an optimist will sometimes be disappointed, but the pessimist is always disappointed. Or maybe he's never disappointed. He's so pessimistic he doesn't expect anything. Nothing happens. His life is boring. Be a happy optimist. And don't ever think that a no is a rejection. A no is a necessary step on the way to yes. And with that, my fingers are already frozen. I don't know if they've got frostbite already. I'm exaggerating a little bit. But my lips are getting colder and colder. It's getting harder and harder to talk. So I'm going to call it quits here. But until next time, I want to wish you, as always, successful investing. Thank you so much.